we're going to jump into how to help when somebody needs some physical boundary repair. First, I want to think about what kind of language I need to speak. So different parts of the brain speak different language. In interpersonal neurobiology, we actually have an acronym for it. It's BASIC: behavior, affect, sensation, image, and cognition. It's very similar if you're a somatic experiencing practitioner to SIVAM: sensation, image, behavior, affect, and meaning. And in fact, if you look through a lot of different processes, whether it's EMDR, coherence therapy from Bruce Ecker, Bonnie Badenoch's inner community work, internal family systems, Les Greenberg's emotionally focused therapy, you'll see a variety of different people focusing in on these same 5 elements. Why? Because this is the information the brain is actually processing. Different parts of our brain specialize in different elements of that basic language. The part of our brain we're going to talk to speaks sensation and movement. Because it speaks sensation and movement, what I want to do is make sure my practices are oriented in that. For physical boundary repair, I'm going to speak a variety of different ways to the brainstem, and they're all going to be sensation and movement based. So let me jump into some interventions, and then we're going to check out a video where I do some boundary repair work with a client. First, I want to tell you about the yarn trick. So in this one, what I do is I have a client sit down on the floor or maybe even in a chair, and we get a big thing of yarn. It has to be kind of large, so you want to be able to trace a circle around the client's body. Right now, we're all working through Zoom, so you can have your client practice this on their own and get their own yarn and do it at home, even while you're on video with them. What we want to do is trace a circle around the body and then just have them track how does it feel inside to have the circle that far away and just know that that's as close as anyone would get to their body. And then your client can practice moving the yarn out and in and try it at different distances and just see, where does my body tell me that I'm safe? Does my body tell me I'm safe when that yarn circle is pretty far out? And that's when my shoulders relax and my breath deepens? Or is my body telling me I'm safe when my physical boundary is a little bit closer to me, that I'd like people to come a little nearer? So that's a great discovery space, and it can also be a great healing space when they imagine that that yarn could actually hold back someone who is being threatening to them. So they can imagine that, there's a big boundary coming up from that yarn, and that's going to keep somebody on the outside. Another thing we can do is work with space with the therapist. This one's kind of hard to do on Zoom, but you can do it with a client's partner or a friend, or you can wait until you're back in your office. This is a spatial experience. So what I do is I have my client stay in a stable position, and then I move towards them and away from them. So they get to be totally in charge of how close I get or how far I go. I just have them hold up a hand and then track their body to see what it's like when I respect that stop. That can be a huge piece of boundary repair, particularly for people who have had physical boundary violation. Another thing we can do is explore texture. So because I'm talking to the edge of me through touch, feeling texture can be really helpful, especially if you've got somebody who has a little bit more of a rigid presentation, so they have trouble feeling their edges. I can have them feel a texture with one hand and then a really different texture with the other, and see if they can feel the difference. They can switch hands. So I've just got a little cup that holds pens here, and it's got like a little wire mesh, and I've got a Kleenex, and they're very different. Any different texture will do. And again, we would have them track, what is that like? What's happening inside for them as they are exploring texture differences, even with a finger, or for some people, it's more safe to put on like the edge of a knee or the outside of their calf, or maybe the outside of the arm. Another thing you can do is a push away exercise. It really helps to have something a little bit heavier. I'm thinking of a person I worked with who had been through an assault, and one of the repairs we did for her body was to have her hold, I have these big kind of squishy medicine balls. They're really heavy. They're maybe 8, 10, 12 pounds a piece. And we started with the small ones and moved up. She wanted to go all the way through the balls, and she did pushing away and just really throwing it off of her body while she was noticing that kept her body safe, that nothing was hurting her body right after she pushed it away and threw it off. With the push away exercise, it really does help to have something a little heavier, because we want that feedback to our bones, our joints, and our muscles, that there's success in creating space. In the video, you're going to see me work with the client to do a little bit of that pushing exercise. Another thing we can do is what we call boundary outline. So here's a little example of a boundary outline. Now, eventually I could work up to doing this with my whole body, but something I want to let you know about is that for clients with really heavy trauma histories, I have to be very titrated when I'm using something like this. I want to do it in teeny tiny bits. The smallest I've ever started with is actually the end of a pinky. What I'm doing here is I'm speaking to the brainstem in its language. I'm going to say, hello, this hand is safe. Nothing is hurting it right now. And I'm doing that by tracing my hand through like squeezes. Notice I come all the way off the fingers. Or you can do it through brushing. Or you can do it through taps. My suggestion is that you actually ask your client. You can show them and ask them if it would feel good for them to try it. And if it would, have them explore, what's it like to do it with brushes? What's it like to do it with squeezes? And what we want to do is just notice, when we do that, what happens to your breath? What happens to your heart rate? What happens to your inner sense of safety as you let your brainstem really know your hand is okay right now? So what you want to do is have them outline their hand, and we want them to feel into the hand that's receiving the touch. So I put all my focus on the inside of this hand and just notice, what's it like to have that hand outlined? So it's called boundary outline. You can also do that through imagery, and sometimes my clients like to outline their whole body in color, and that can also be a helpful way of doing boundary outline. If you are going to do it with one of your clients and you'd like to use the physical boundary outline, my suggestion would be to start small. Start with a hand or maybe even a finger and just see how their system responds to it. If their system likes it and feels really safe and, oh wow, that really felt better, go ahead and increase it a little bit. If it turns out when you do a little bit of that boundary outline, a little nervousness comes up, probably that's an indication that wasn't quite so titrated enough for them, and go ahead and take it down to like a finger. It's weird, I know, but when we've had a lot of problems with safety, to increase safety a lot is actually a big change. And that can be dysregulating to our clients who have been through a ton. So we have to increase into that more positive, more safe space, in little teeny bits at a time. Now I'd love to share with you a video. So that's one example of helping a client with a little bit of physical boundary repair. Next session, we're going to explore how grief shows up in different types of boundary work.